Hi, welcome to a very special edition of Health Matters. The sun's beating down, lovely blue skies, but this isn't Brighton, Margate, Great Yarmouth or Blackpool. This is Florida, USA. It's holiday time. Well, it was for me when I went to Florida, USA. It was hot, very hot. The skies were blue and the sun shone, and it was glorious. But the people at Delray Beach, they were more concerned about their Independence Day. And I don't mean the film, I mean the time that the North Americans kicked all us British out, the 4th of July. Everybody likes to bear all in the sun, but how good is the sun for your skin? I had a chat to a top dermatologist called Dr. Christopher Virtue about this very subject. And another chap who was very helpful to us was Eric Lawrence from the local police department, who gave me some very useful safety tips about holidaying in Florida. But first, we look at how the local hospital and the fire rescue department work together for the good of the community in Boca Raton. The Boca Raton Fire Rescue is located between the cities of Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. Boca Raton is an oceanside community of about 69,000 people. The fire rescue stations in the area number 6 fire stations with 150 firefighters. 93 of these are paramedics. Now, Cindy Metcalf is a paramedic, but she's also a qualified nurse. She explains to us how the emergency service differs from ours.
In our city, we send an engine and a rescue on every call, whether it's a medical or a fire.
Right, so there's 2 vehicles, one's for the fire and one's a paramedical vehicle.
Correct, but we also have paramedics on our fire trucks
as
well.
Yeah, so they're duly trained.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we see local residents of Boca Raton having their blood pressure tested at one of the local fire stations.
Well, we like to be a little bit more involved in our community, and we like to make it easier on people who have limited transportation. So we go out to different areas in the city and hold free blood pressure screenings. And we also hold blood pressure screenings at the fire station so that people don't have to wait to make an appointment with their doctor. They can just stop by anytime.
This is called the Smart Heart Programme and is an attempt to shift emergency medical services from the reactive state, that means after you've had a heart attack, to the proactive role, which is to prevent such things as heart attacks happening. So, by working hand in hand with the community hospital, the Fire Rescue Department improves the community's healthcare by delivering preventative medical programs for all the residents of Boca Raton.
Okay, Lori Croy, officer with the Boca Raton Police Department, Florida, watching Channel 10.
Florida is one of the largest tourist states in America, with hundreds of thousands of people coming on holiday each year, especially from Britain. However, I asked Eric Lawrence from the Boca Raton Police Department about the reputation Florida has for its high crime rate, especially concerning holidaymakers.
Well, first of all, you need to always keep contact or keep your eyes on your luggage, because it wouldn't be uncommon for someone to want to victimize you and take your luggage. Next, you need to be aware of, when you're driving around in your vehicles, not to leave anything of value in your vehicle, because auto burglary, that means to break into an automobile and steal the things in the automobile, is common in South Florida. Another thing is in hotels and what have you, to keep very valuable valuables in a safe at the front desk, some type of safe deposit box at the front desk, and to keep your room locked at all times, and when possible, actually implement the deadbolt lock in the room, not just the regular card where the card is inserted, but if you're in the room, have the deadbolt lock on, have the chain on. Always make sure that when you have your purses, women's purses, that they keep their purse on their shoulder. Many women have been victimized pushing their shopping carts through a store and having their purse in the shopping cart. Thieves will come along and reach in the purse and take the wallet out, and the woman won't be aware that her wallet has been taken until sometime later, because the purse will be left there. So we're suggesting that the top of the purse be buttoned or zipped, and that the women, if possible, keep their purses with them and not actually in the cart. Little things like that. And also, when you're taking money out of your pocket, don't have a lot of money that's shown all at one time in public places. You know, if you're going to have a lot of money, have that somewhere where you can get to it if you need it, but in your wallet only have a few dollars. If you pull out your money, only let it be seen that you have a few dollars, maybe some small denominations, or just a few dollars, as opposed to large amounts of money.
Don't make yourself a target, in other words.
Don't make yourself a target, in other words. That's correct.
The law enforcement in Florida is divided into 3 departments. The police department looks after the city areas, while the deputies of the sheriff's office police all other areas of the county. And the highway patrol are the law enforcement officers for the highways and byways all over Florida.
I don't think that it's a dangerous place. I think that all of those who are interested in coming to America should come on over to America and enjoy themselves. It's just that one thing, you have to keep the same wits about you that you have back home when you have to beware of those around you who might want to victimize you. Just because you're in beautiful, warm, sunny South Florida or America doesn't mean that you've gone to some la-la land where you don't have to be careful, because many times here in South Florida it's deceiving. Everything looks fine and beautiful on the surface, so one lets one's guard down, but it's just as dangerous and as much a concern as anywhere else. So enjoy the beauty, but keep it in your mind that you have to be safe, and you have to be thinking, and you have to be smart.
Eric was very keen to make holidaymakers aware that the police department is there to help them.
It's 911 is what one would call if they had a problem. And anytime someone feels as though something is suspicious or it's out of place, there doesn't have to necessarily be a crime committed. If someone's just uncomfortable with maybe the situation that they're in, or even if they just have questions, they shouldn't hesitate to phone the police. The motto of the police and the assignment and duty of the police here in America is to protect and to serve. So the police have no problem in just addressing someone's fears about an issue or someone's question. The best thing to do is to contact the police or come down to a police department, find your way to the local police department and seek help there, even if it's just advice as to what to do in a situation like that. The police department there will give you advice as far as how to specifically handle the situation.
Hi, I'm Mark from Delray Beach. I'm parking meter technician, and you're watching Channel 10.
Down at Knollwood Grove Farm, West Palm Beach, I caught up with a school party of children who were learning about one of Florida's most scary residents, the alligator.
You guys brush your teeth?
A Native American and alligator expert, Martin Twofeather, was telling the children all about them.
Well, those eyes are the same eyes that Steven Spielberg used in Jurassic Park in the raptor. My name is Martin Twofeathers, and I'm from Browning, Montana. I am Blackfoot. We are in Boynton Beach, Florida, saying hello to Channel 10. Hello, Channel 10. He has survived time. He is a living dinosaur.
He explained that the alligators have been on the Earth for about 250 million years.
But he is, in fact, the descendant of the 250 million years ago alligator.
They have the job in nature of acting like a natural blotting paper for disease. Alligators prey on injured and diseased animals, such as rabbits, fish, frogs, snakes, birds and other mammals. And it's known that the alligator can digest over 150 diseases without contracting the disease or passing it on to any other species. However, alligators spit humans out as they cannot digest human flesh. But the bad news is that by the time they find out you're a human, you've probably lost a foot or an arm, and it is not unknown for children to be killed by those massive jaws.
Have you ever been attacked?
Yes. Yes, I've had my back broken, I've had my collarbone broken, I've had my arms broken, I've had both hands, left and right, crushed, all by alligators. That's a part of the job.
They scare me.
Alligators live mainly in freshwater swamps, lakes and bayous in the southeastern United States. So the next time you come across an alligator, I should avoid trying to make friends with it. Just admire it from afar, just to be on the safe side.
My name is Hugh, and I'm the bridge captain on Atlantic Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida, and you are watching Channel 10.
There is a beach that stretches 150 miles on the east coast of Florida. Now, you could go and sunbathe, you could take a dip, and if energetic enough, play beach volleyball. However, you could be more artistic and enter a sand sculptor contest. Yes, I said sculptor, not a sandcastle contest, because on Delray Beach every 4th of July they hold a competition run by the local round table to find the best sand sculptor.
This is being sponsored by the Rotary Club, which is the largest service organization in the world and has many clubs in England, and we're a charity and service club. We do a lot of work for many people.
Hi, we're in Delray Beach, and you're watching Channel 10.
We are raising money for our local as well as our international endeavors.
So the next time you go down to the sea with that bucket and that spade, I expect more than just the old-fashioned sandcastle. A bit more thought.
Hi, I'm lifeguard Rob Massotti.
Hi, I'm Lance Seiler.
I'm Brent Tracy.
We're lifeguards on Delray Beach, and you're watching Channel 10.
To many people, a holiday means the sun. Whether it be in this country or abroad, holidaymakers seek out the sunny climates. However, as Christopher Virtue, dermatologist based at Boca Raton, explains, the sun can be very dangerous to our health.
We're seeing a tremendous increase in skin cancers in younger and younger age groups all the time. When I went into practice 25 years ago, it was unusual to see someone with a skin cancer under age 50. Today in my office in Florida, I probably saw 4 or 5 people under age 50 with skin cancers.
Dr. Virtue was born and educated in the West Indies, qualifying as a physician and surgeon in 1969. Since 1974, Dr. Virtue has been in private practice in Boca Raton, whilst also being on the medical staff of several local hospitals. I asked Dr. Virtue what skin types are most at risk from sun exposure.
They classify skin into 6 skin types. An African American, a black Persian, African would be a type 6. A very fair-skinned, red-headed person such as yourself would be a class 1, category 1 or type 1. I'll be about a type 4 or 5. The people that burn rather than tan, and of course lifestyle matters a lot. The sun that we get in our youth is so much more important than when we retire. So the younger people, their skin cells are dividing much more rapidly. As a result, the sun exposure in young age groups where the children have 50, 60, 70 years of life expectancy, those damaged cells, each time they divide, will give rise to younger daughter cells, which are also sun damaged. If that DNA is damaged beyond repair, the daughter cells, the offspring cells of those original parent cells will be themselves affected, and with the passage of time they will become more severely damaged. So the sun exposure is important for anyone. Excessive sun exposure is critically important. It's an issue for people under age 18.
Dr. Virtue explained to me that the medication a person's taking, such as Prozac, which is taken for depression for example, and certain antibacterial soaps, can make the skin more sensitive when exposed to sunlight.
I live on the beach in Florida, about a mile from here. I saw someone, I stayed home on the 3rd of July, getting ready for a big 4th of July party, One of my house guests said, look at that gentleman, he's been out there for hours and hours. Person is darkly tanned. However, if that person has done that for many years, they will have a problem. So common sense, not staying out hour after hour all day during the summer, and our 2 or 3 week vacation in Mallorca or in Greek islands, remembering that that sun damage will remain with us forever. So using protective clothing, using hats, using sunscreens, using common sense all adds up. I sometimes see redheads and their lifeguards, and I'm thinking, why is this redheaded person being a lifeguard all summer long? Why is this individual who has a history of skin cancer in their family being outdoors so much?
When I got back from Florida, I went into Coventry and asked some of the locals about their sunbathing habits, and did they realise about the dangers of sunbathing? Okay, mate, what's your name?
Les.
Les, and we're joined by?
Nick.
Okay, lads. Now then, obviously you both work outdoors. What job do you do?
Electrician.
And?
Electrician.
Yeah. Now then, I mean, when you're working outside in the sun a lot, I mean, do you ever think about, I mean, you're quite fair-skinned. Do you ever think about the sun?
Well, yeah, you have to take precautions all the time. Well, with burning and everything, but it is a bit dangerous, yeah.
Now, obviously you're a darker colour. I mean, do you think as much as your friend does about the skin and what have you?
Yeah, obviously, because like you just don't want to burn and everything. You have to take precautions, you know, wear a hat when you need to, and yeah, think about it a lot.
Realising the type of skin that we have and adapting our lifestyle, which would be in sequence with that. Something which would be appropriate would be someone would say my skin colour going out and cutting lawns for a living, someone with my skin colour being a lifeguard, working as a construction worker. We think of some jobs as basically being both indoors and outdoors, salespeople, delivery people, representatives of companies who are outdoors, construction workers, police officers. They're out a great deal of the time. Sometimes the person's primary job may be one where they're indoors all week, but on weekends they've got an outdoors job, and the skin simply cannot adapt. I think the skin has certain repair capabilities and certain adaptations. However, if you wear a swimsuit that covers a large part of your body, and then you go to the beach one summer and that area is so white, it's exposed, it will burn.
So this is ladies going topless, for example?
Yes, or tongue bikinis. I'm now taking skin cancers off 35-year-old women's bottoms and breasts, and they scar rather badly.
Do you think it's an age thing? Because you're young, you're more concerned about wrinkles and not cancer. But I mean, as you get older, obviously skin cancer must be a risk, mustn't it?
Well, definitely. I mean, I think my mum and her generation, they're all thinking about cancer. Mind you, they think about it and then they just go out and sunbathe, don't they? So, but I think maybe I'll think about cancer in a couple of years.
So basically, at the moment, at your age, I mean, obviously very young, what you think about is more the beauty aspect rather than the health aspect.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to be old.
The people often in their 20s, 30s, 40s, they look great with the tans. However, they age more rapidly. That's another thing. People wrinkle, they look like a prune. They spend a great deal of money coming to people like myself and plastic surgeons. What the person requires is they said, I want to look like this. And they show you an exposed area versus a covered area, and they go, I don't want to look like this, I want to look like this. And they show a covered part of their body, and it looks so young. Folks, if you're listening to this show, turn over your forearms. Look at the back of the hands, turn over, look at the covered areas. When you see this area looking much different to this area over here, it's wrinkled, it's old, it doesn't bounce back as it should. That's what we're going to look like as we get older. But this is how we can look in the covered areas if we're simply very careful and protect ourselves. It is important. We all want to look good.
Now, we've got two contrasts here. We've got this bare-chested hunk of a man and no hat, and we've got him all buttoned up. Look at this looks brilliant, and a hell of a hat. What makes you wear a hat?
Because I love Australians, and it's an Australian cricket hat.
Yeah.
You know?
And have you been out to Australia?
Yeah, I have been to Australia. I've been twice.
Yeah, I mean, they take skin and skin cancer and some...
They take it very seriously in Australia about skin cancer, you know, because it's one of the most important things about you is to catch skin cancer. I've met a taxi driver over there, and with only holding his arm out the car when he was driving, he got skin cancer, and he showed me all the marks on his arms and that. You know, but it's you got to cover yourself up and look after yourself.
Protecting the forearms, especially if you're in a tour bus and that arm is sitting in the sun 4, 5, 6 hours a day, it will be sun damaged.
When you go on holiday, do you sunbathe?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, before you go on holiday, do you have sunbeds?
Sometimes. Yes.
Absolutely no tanning beds. They are not good for us. A tan, remember, is Mother Nature's way to repair an injury. So planning to go in a tanning bed prior to going on vacation may seem like a good idea, but it is not. You're just aggravating the sun damage you're going to get, the ultraviolet damage.
Right, now then, we're talking about sun and holidays and things. How do you protect them when you go away?
Well, I always make sure, normally, I mean, she's going to get a new hat, but normally I always keep a hat on them, and I normally have a T-shirt on and a good sun cream.
I go on cruises once or twice a year, and I see those young kids with awful sunburns, and I know what's going to happen to them in a couple of years. So think for our children.
I mean, get a shot of this. Look, he looks absolutely brilliant. You obviously go out in the sun a lot.
I've just come back off holiday.
And where have you been to?
Been to Greece.
And you have a lovely time by the looks of it?
Yeah, it was really hot.
No, we're just talking about skin and cancer and getting old and wrinkles and all those sort of things. I mean, you look, the bee's knees. I mean, that's how you want to look. So, I mean, do you think about those things when you're lying out in the sun?
Yeah, I do have high protection on as well, so I didn't burn, didn't peel or anything. I wore a hat on my head.
Bald men have a particular problem, especially a young man who would go bald in his 20s or 30s, and he was had 20 or 30 or 40 summers in the sun without the benefit of hair. If they're not careful and use a hat regularly or a cap or a good sunscreen, they will definitely end up with problems. The tops of the ears, same thing. I rarely ever take skin cancers off the ears of women. Every day I take skin cancers off the ears of men. Sometimes we have to remove 2/3 of an ear. It can be very disfiguring. With women, this area between the breasts, even if they wear a swimsuit, but this area is a high-risk area for women with skin cancer, as are the legs. I think, again, men have hairy legs. Some of us are very hairy. And hair does wonderful things. It does protect us. Women shave, they're exposed to the sun more, they lay out for hours, and they do get some pretty severe problems. As people age, other cancers kill more people. Above age 30, breast cancer kills more people than skin cancer. But in the 25 to 30 age group, melanoma kills more women than breast cancer.
Right.
So it is becoming a significant, correctable, preventable public health problem.
Strong words of advice from the doctor. But, as they say, prevention is better than cure. So, when you or your children go out in the sun, make sure you take this advice. Wear hats and cotton clothing, avoid that midday sun when it's at its strongest, and slap on that suntan lotion. High factor if you're a fair-skinned person like myself. Well, this is the end of my holiday. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're going away, have a nice, safe holiday. Enjoy yourselves. Think about some of the things in the show. I'll leave you with the 4th of July on Delray Beach. And remember, health matters.